Hey, Oprah. How are you? Hey, never mind that pile of clothes back there. They're dirty. I haven't gotten to them yet. But I'll get to them. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. Anyway, how's Stedman? Oh, well, thank you. Hey, I may have long left this earth, but I'm just as alive as the day I was born on that July 10th, 1875 day in good old Maysville, South Carolina. Hmm. Well, at age 11, I started at the Maysville Presbyterian Mission School in my hometown, Maysville, hometown. Um, then, through a scholarship, I was able to head on to Concord, North Carolina, and that school was the Scotia Seminary, which was special school for African American girls. Well, I graduated from there in 1893, and then I finished up all my schooling at Moody Bible School. Yeah, I did a lot of moving, but you know what I say? I never stop to plan. I take things step by step. Well, let me think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 1896 when I started my teaching career, and well, I taught a lot of schools. I taught at many schools. I know I taught at Haynes Institute, and that was in Augusta, Georgia. And then I picked up and moved back to South Carolina, but then I was in Sumter, South Carolina, and there I taught at Kendall Institute, and that's where I met my dear husband, Albertus. Yes, ma'am. I did want to go to Africa, but then I realized there were Africans in America who needed just as much saving, so I decided to stay in the States. I mean, after all, we should invest in the human soul, in all human souls, because who knows? It could be a diamond in the rough, right? But in order to fulfill this desire that I had to do missionary work, I did organize a Sunday school program. We went and we sang to the prisoners. That was great because I got to do missionary work like I wanted to, and I always loved to sing and dance. So I got it all out of my system. That's a great idea. I was glad I did that. Oh, Daytona. That's the good stuff. That's what we're getting at right there. Well, Daytona was the start of a whole new world for me and for African American girls and women everywhere. Whole new start. Fantastic stuff. Where do I want to start? How did it all begin? Well, I found a two-story building in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I started my school. It was first called the Literary and Industrial Institute for Training Negro Girls, and I started that in October 1904. That's when it was, 1904. We had a rough start, of course. We started out with 6 pupils altogether. 5 of them were girls, because it was a school for girls. But then the 6th one, that was my son, because I had to make an exception for my son. But you know, it was such a rough start. We didn't have desks, so we used crates for desks, and charcoal for pencils, and elderberries, crushed elderberries for our ink. Faculty. I was the faculty. There was no faculty. It was me. I was even the custodian. But you know, I didn't care. I didn't even think twice about it because I believed in the school so much. I would do anything to get it up and running, get it going where I saw in my head it was going. You know, I believed in the school so much that our tuition was 50 cents a week. But if, you know, there's a student who wanted to come and their parent just couldn't afford 50 cents a week, I was not going to turn them away. That's not what the school was about. That's not what I was going for. You know, I wasn't going to turn them away. I wasn't going to achieve my goals with opening my school, you know. Okay, let's see. What else you got for me? Well, yeah, the funding was lacking at first. Of course, the funding was lacking at first. We were still getting up off the ground. But you know what? We made what we had work, and we did what we could to help the funding. What my students and I would do is we would bake pies and make ice cream, and we'd go sell it to the construction gangs to make extra money, help the school's finances. Well, it took off like a jet. In 1923, our school, we decided to merge with Cookman Institute, and that was in Jacksonville, Florida, up north of Daytona Beach. And we decided to merge with them. This really helped my school to flourish. Our school, when they merged together, helped it to flourish because Cookman was an all-boys school. We were a girls' school, so we come together, we got a co-ed school. That's fantastic, and it made my son so happy he wasn't the only boy in the school anymore. But by doing that, I mean, man, by 1955 we had about 100 faculty members and 1,000 students. So that was a great idea, that merge, and we just grew and grew and grew from there. Well, you make me blush. But okay. I am proud that in 1936, President Roosevelt appointed me Director of African American Affairs and the National Youth Administration, and also a Special Advisor of Minority Affairs. Well, in 1949, I was awarded the Haitian Medal of Honor Merit. Now, I don't mean to be boastful, but that is the highest award of the Haitian government. Well, you don't need to thank me. Just use my work and my accomplishments and the things that I've achieved as tools to be the best women we can be, all around the best women we can be. Now, don't you know that I always say that next to God, we are indebted to women, first for life itself, and then just for making it worth living. Yeah, that's pretty neat. But also, at any rate, I did serve as president of the National Association of Colored Women. I also had say in who the first woman in combat was. That was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And there was also an organization of women's voters that I was also part of. Also, I also had a couple more accomplishments. Not to be boastful, but also I became a distinguished advisor to several American presidents. I got to meet a lot of them, and I supervised the expansion of employment opportunities and recreational facilities for African American youth. That's the most important one, because the youth is what this is about. The youth is why everything I did started. Why everything. The youth, they're our future. Also, I was vice president of this little organization called the NAACP, Don't know if you heard of it or not. Well, it has been my pleasure and my honor. And before I go, I want to say that I leave you love, I leave you hope, I leave you the challenge of developing confidence in one another. I leave you respect for the use of power. I leave you faith, and I leave you racial dignity.